and talking about the future of this super successful game. Let me write down the notes real quick. The time. Okay, cool. Sorry we're going long, but it's Pokemon Go week. You guys love Pokemon Go.
I just got another
Niantic.
Ghastly.
Oh, nice. I had to turn mine off because my incense was all used up, and then it was like, okay, uh,
Yeah,
battery's dying.
yeah.
I want to start charging it so I can go on a walk after Koppai. But Niantic, they were spoken to about the future of the game and their plans. The company said they will have more ways to play with Pokestops and more interactions with gyms, which sounds super awesome. I love Pokestops right now, and if they can find even more ways to make those engaging, awesome. Niantic plans to add customized functions in unique ways and a global leadership scoreboard for Pokemon players. Once again, awesome. The game's augmented reality will see an improvement, and the game could see a release on dedicated AR devices, which would mean something like the 3DS could eventually get Pokemon Go, which would be really neat. Yeah, the future of the game, we've kind of talked about it briefly, and this will be one of our shorter snippets of the episodes. If you're listening just to this individual snippet and not to the whole episode, be sure to head over to youtube.com/Koppai Gaming, as well as iTunes, SoundCloud for search for Koppai Podcast. We've talked about Pokemon Go quite extensively this week, including the success of the game, our initial stories and impressions of the game, and some other wacky news stories. But basically, our hope for the game is that it does evolve into more. It finds that balance between the traditional Pokemon games as well as what it has going for it already. Because right now it is super intuitive to hold it in one hand and tap and swipe and flick and all of that, and to keep walking as you're catching these Pokemon. Like sometimes it's nice to stop so you get a nice picture and you kind of get immersed in the experience. But you can just keep walking once you click the Pokemon, so you really don't have to stop walking as long as you're playing. And some turn-based strategy stuff or whatever the case may be may make it so you have to focus more. So they need to find a balance there. But I think our big hope for the game is that it does balance out the server issues and find unique ways to kind of bring back that classic bond that you have with your Pokemon. That's the big thing I'm missing from the game is that I have 20 Rattatas and I'm transferring 19 of them that are the lowest ones. And it's just kind of like, I wish there was one that was like, I went and caught Garbage the other night, like, or no, like my Pokemon nickname Garbage. I went and caught little Billy the Magikarp, and I'm gonna keep him till the end, And the sad truth of it is, if I find something stronger than Magikarp or like the Magikarp I have now, that one's gone,
Yeah,
And that
definitely.
would that would never happen in a real Pokemon game because you don't catch duplicates, and if you do see one that's stronger, there's a perk to having the one that you have that's weaker and
Yeah,
training
yeah.
it up. Um,
Yeah, there is. I mean, but there's also, you could argue that the perfect IVs and EVs and all those sort of things is like, people will keep breeding until they get that
yeah,
perfect EV and
and I
IV,
guess I never played
thing.
that way.
Yeah, but and yeah, I have definitely tried to, if you're going for the more competitive route and playing, you want to have your Pokemon be maxed out and all. Like, this is extraordinary Pokemon by the little guy that rates them and says what each category is and how amazing your Pokemon is. It's like that a lot of people take that really seriously, and an average amount of Pokemon players, I would say, definitely play the game that way, where they will breed until they get the Pokemon that they want. And
Yeah.
then at that point, the only thing with this is that it is that same thing where um, there is no like perfect IV EV in this game because they just keep getting stronger and stronger. So technically, you could get that Charmander that's 790 CP, and that's still not the perfect Charmander. You might still find one that's 1,000 something. It's like, maybe there isn't that perfect Pokemon that you could just stick with once you get it in like the traditional game. So there is that yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I definitely feel that, and I thought that that simple thing that I said they recommend they do is just you could still say you could still hit Pokemon and do it still very quickly, very passively, but train up your Pokemon and get experience for
Mhm.
that. I wish they would add that in or somehow do something that'd be really cool. I really highly doubt it. I
Yeah,
don't
I think they have
expect
their
it. So
system in place, and they're
yeah,
just gonna
it
stick
works
with it.
so well built around the system they've already built. So it just has to basically expand on this, tweak this, and improve it, which I'm totally satisfied with too. Like, definitely I could send some recommendations for how I would like maybe them to do this. And Game of Thrones, I might recommend that they make the mountains come alive and walk around. But
Yeah.
I'm still satisfied with Game of Thrones, so it's kind
Yeah.
of that sort of thing where it's already an amazing game. I'd say it gets Koppai Gold from me, and I'm definitely excited for it to get improved, the server issues fix it, but and
Makes me want to
even
play Pokken again, and like it
yeah,
makes you want
it's
to pick
getting me
up.
in that Pokemon vibe again. I got the Pokemon trading card game going. I went into my Nuzlocke and I'm almost done with my Nuzlocke again just because I'm feeling the Pokemon fever, the
Pokemon
Pokemon Go
Fever.
fever. But yeah.
Yeah, be sure to leave down below what you want out of the future of the game, improvements you'd like to see, as well as structural changes. We can't dwell too much on that. And if you check out our other snippets or the rest of the podcast episode on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, etc., you can hear all of that. But we want to hear your thoughts down below. Moving on.